So one of the things that clients who are sensitive to EMFs might implement in their homes, offices, is replacing Wi-Fi or wireless radiation with hardwired Ethernet cables, which gives them more reliable connection, better stability, better data security, faster speeds, and also you can mitigate the wireless or radio frequency radiation altogether once you have the Wi-Fi disabled from your router, and also the Wi-Fi disabled on your computer, phone, tablet, or whatever device. However, the mistake that a lot of people might unknowingly make is substitute one form of EMF for another. So what I mean by that is, now that they've disabled Wi-Fi, there's no more wireless radiation from the router. However, using an Ethernet cable can introduce another form of EMF, which is electric fields. I'll show you what I mean. I have here with me an Ethernet cable hooked up to the wall, and I have an EMF meter which is going to be measuring electric fields in volts per meter. So you see that it's quite high. Sometimes it goes up to like the thousands. If I unplug it, it goes back to baseline. I move this further away. It drops down to a much lower level. If I plug this back in, so you can see basically we're substituting one problem, one form of radiation for another. So from radio frequency to electric fields. Fortunately, there's a relatively easy fix. So we have these grounding adapters for your Ethernet, and the way you use them is we have a ground cord on one end, and these are pseudo plugs that do not conduct any electricity. It's just there for stability purpose to ground the Ethernet port. So we plug this in a standard outlet. Make sure the outlet is grounded using an outlet tester. And now what we have is a spare Ethernet port. So instead of plugging this directly into the wall, we're going to plug this into the adapter. Once we have the adapter in, we plug the other end to the wall. Now, what this does is it grounds the Ethernet cord all the way from there to the device. So now let's measure the EMFs with the grounding cord. So you can see we're doing much better. From over 200 volts per meter, now we're only at 13. And I'll show you again the impact by unplugging the ground, what happens. So it's way high. Now we're almost 900 volts per meter. Once I ground it, we're only at 30, right? So it also depends where we are in the cord. But to any extent, regardless of where in the cord we measure, the grounding always, see it maxing out my meter there. Right, so the lesson here is, please remember, if you're changing up your Wi-Fi and you're using Ethernet, make sure that you have a grounding adapter so that your Ethernet is also grounded and you're not substituting Wi-Fi for electric fields. Thanks.